Time now for your forecast first. WRBL News 3 First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. If you're not wet yet, you will be here pretty soon as a line of showers and thunderstorms coming through the area. Alexander City getting hit with some pretty heavy rain right now. And you can see this squall line coming through the region. Montgomery with some serious rain and some gusty winds. I have more on the storm coming up. This is WRBL News 3 on your side.
He's a police officer. You know, you think those would be positive influences in a child's life, especially one that's having problems.
But these parents say that's not what happened between their teenage daughter and a now former local police officer. How one group is raising awareness about a law to protect Alabama nurses. And one of the suspects in the disappearance and murder of a Georgia high school teacher isn't going anywhere right now. Your number one midday news starts right now.
On your side, this is News 3 Midday.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for trusting News 3 Midday as your number one local news source at noon. I'm Greg Loyd, and we have a ton of news to get to this afternoon. And we start with the big story, as always. And this afternoon, that big story is the weather. We're tracking a system moving toward our area right now. Meteorologist Jeff Kelly has his eyes on the skies, and he joins us right now from the First Alert Storm Center with more. Jeff?
All right, Greg, it's been knocking on the door here for some time now. Now it's really getting into the neighborhood for our viewing area. We're talking about the showers and thunderstorms. This line that we've been keeping an eye on for about 2 days now is finally approaching us from the west. You can see Alexander City with some heavy rain, as we mentioned off the top, and some light precipitation showing up in Auburn, but more on the way as we go through the afternoon. Let's talk about the timing here of this system. Again, as we go through the afternoon hours, we're going to see the rain coming down pretty heavy and the winds. And you can see for Columbus right there at about 2 o'clock, our estimations for some serious rain there. Also for valley areas, we're looking at a little wider view of this. And you can see on our water vapor, some drier air behind it. That's probably about 9 o'clock. So we're going to stay busy from about 2 until 5 with the potential for some severe thunderstorms, strong gusty winds. And as we go through the afternoon, things will start to taper off a little bit. But the winds are pretty strong too, up to 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So some dangerous, potentially damaging winds along for the ride too. Greg, we'll take a little deeper dive into this storm in just a little while and tell you what's ahead for the rest of the week coming up.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for that update. Well, happening right now, we are closely monitoring a heavy investigator presence at a Columbus medical facility. So far, little information is known beyond that there are a lot of investigators present. It's happening right now in the 5600 block of Whitesville Road at Southeast Regional Pain Center. And that's where we find News 3's Jamisha Loyd, who has been there this morning as the scene unfolded. Jamisha, what can you tell us right now?
Yes, good afternoon, Greg. I'm here on the block of Whitesville Road and Princeton Avenue, where police are out here on the scene at Southeast Regional Pain Center. Now, take a look at this video that was shot earlier. As you can see, the police presence is definitely high at this scene. Now, the Columbus Police Department and the DEA responded to the scene early this morning. The police are outside monitoring the premises, turning away patients at this given time. Now, we do not know the full nature of this investigation at this time, but once we get that information, we'll be sure to keep you updated here at a later time. Reporting live and on your side in Columbus, I'm Jamisha Loyd, WRBL News 3.
All right, Jamisha, thank you so much for that report. Now we head to a story you'll see only on 3. A local family spoke out exclusively to News 3 after they say their daughter was stalked on social media by a Columbus police officer. News 3's Bria Berry broke the story, and she joins us this midday with more. Bria?
Hey, Greg, yesterday we confirmed that an officer resigned amid internal investigation within the police department. I sat down with the parents of 13-year-old girl who explained why they pursued a complaint against the officer. Deborah and Michael Beasley say they have lived a nightmare.
He claimed to be a pastor. He's a police officer. You know, you think those would be positive influences in a child's life, especially one that's having problems. So we just thought that he started talking to her about God and stuff of that nature, and we thought that was a positive thing. We thought that was okay at first, until it went further.
The Beasleys say back in December, they discovered their daughter had been receiving Facebook messages from a then Columbus police officer, messages they felt were inappropriate.
Is where he was like, where are you at? She said, I'm out with my parents at Walmart. He's like, what Walmart? I'll come to every Walmart until I find you.
The Beasleys say the police officer met their daughter at her school sometime last year. The parents say they filed a police report and called the police department several times before making this post on Facebook. It reads in part, "The police department hasn't been able to put a stop to his harassment. Since there is no law against grooming, I'll just leave this here and hope that you all share and help me stop him."
Continually messenger, even after the original report, after Columbus Police Department stated that they put him on administrative leave and told him not to contact her anymore, he continues to try to contact her. He even went to the extent of making another account because his original account was blocked to send her hearts and smiley faces.
Police Chief Ricky Boren confirmed to News 3 that James Besner, an ID technician, resigned Friday amid an internal investigation. We were there to give the Beasleys the news.
I'm relieved that he's no longer with the police force. However, there's still not any legal ramifications for him if he continues to contact my daughter.
The Beasleys say by sharing their story, they hope this doesn't happen to other families. Now, we'll continue to closely follow this story. Look for more on this story tonight on News 3 starting at 5/4 Central. Back to you, Greg.
Okay, Bria, thank you so much. Across Georgia this midday, the Georgia House unanimously supported a bill that will allow electric membership cooperatives, EMCs, to offer broadband internet service to customers. It's being widely applauded by supporters who say it's perfect because EMCs serve rural areas. Critics counter, however, the bill as written will give EMCs an advantage over traditional cable providers. Across Alabama, a new area code is coming to the state. AT&T told news outlets 659 area code will be used in parts of west central Alabama come April. The new code will be an addition to the 205 code, not a replacement for it. Starting April 13th, callers should include the area code of the person they are calling in that area. By October the 12th, callers will have to use the area code in order to make a complete call. Across America, hundreds of teachers in Denver, Colorado are continuing to strike today after more than 15 months of failed negotiations. The walkout affects about 71,000 students. About 2,100 public school teachers went on strike yesterday after a round of last-minute talks broke down over the weekend. The two sides disagree on pay increases and bonuses for teachers in high-poverty schools and other schools the districts prioritize. Teachers want lower bonuses to free up money for better overall salaries. To politics, details of an agreement congressional negotiators have reached to prevent another partial government shutdown are expected to be released sometime today. Republicans were desperate to avoid another shutdown and tentatively agreed late Monday to far less money for the president's U.S.-Mexico border wall than the projected $5.7 billion he demanded, settling instead for about $1.4 billion. The pact includes increases for advanced screening at border entry points and humanitarian aid Democrats wanted. Meanwhile, President Trump vowed last night at a rally in El Paso, Texas, that he still will get the wall. For information on these and other stories, we invite you to stay with us around the clock. Follow us on social media, and remember, we're on 24/7 at WRBL.com. Well, new at midday. One of the men accused of killing a Georgia high school teacher more than a decade ago will not be released from custody ahead of his trial. A judge in Irwin County denied a request Monday to allow Ryan Alexander Duke to be released on bond. The judge also turned down a motion by Duke's legal team to move the trial out of Irwin County. Teacher Tara Grinstead was reported missing back in October of 2005. Nearly 12 years later, Duke was arrested in connection to her disappearance and death. At a hearing on Monday, a GBI investigation agent testified that Duke confessed to killing Grinstead prior to his arrest. Duke's attorneys argue their client was on drugs at the time and delivered a false confession. His trial is scheduled to begin in April. Still to come on News 3 Midday. Question for you. What would you do if you saw this in your house? Well, somebody did. We'll tell you more about it, but first we're back with meteorologist Jeff Kelly's full forecast.